Happy New Year. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas, amazing holiday, and a good start to the new year. I've had quite a busy last few weeks. I am coming to you from a brand new apartment, a new setup, a new office, and it was honestly a very turbulent start to the new year. We are now settled-ish in our new apartment. The backdrop, a lot of the details need to change, but I'm super excited to start the new year in kind of a new setting. But I've missed you all. I haven't filmed content in quite a while, so we're gonna ease back into it. Starting off the new year on a high, I want to start with 5 fashion careers that you can play in The Sims 4. Some of my favorite videos from last year were my career videos, so I will leave those linked down below if you haven't seen them already. But yeah, there's some really good fashion careers to play in The Sims 4, so we're gonna deep dive into those. But before we jump in, I want to tell you about this viral game that is sponsoring this video. So taking the concept and familiar faces of the classic Monopoly game, Monopoly Go brings it straight to your fingertips so that you can play it anywhere at any time, straight from your phone. It takes that iconic Monopoly board that we know and love, working your way through collecting properties and building your empire to build houses and hotels, but it gives it a fresh and exciting twist. Not only is Mr. Monopoly back to guide you, but the game is reimagined with vibrant and animated boards, inspired by real-world cities like New York. So it's a whole new way of experiencing Monopoly with plenty of surprises along the way. There are even mini games to explore, with special limited time events to keep things fresh, but one of my favorite features is the social gameplay. You can actually team up with your friends and family for exciting in-game events where you work together to hit milestones or unlock special rewards. Or maybe you will betray them to get ahead, but the choice is yours. Are you going to be building alliances or rivals? It's just such a fun way to connect and experience the game with others, no matter where they are around the world. And with new boards, events, and features being added to the game, Monopoly Go always feels fresh. So don't miss out on the limited time events. You can actually click the link down below in my bio or scan the QR code on screen to download the game for free right now. And a huge thank you to Monopoly Go for sponsoring this video. Okay, we are starting with our first fashion career to play in The Sims 4, and that is a fashion photographer. So this one can be played in 2 different ways. Starting off with Get to Work. Let me give you a little tour actually of my photo studio, which I've done in this San Myshuno apartment. The idea is that the ground floor is the fashion photography studio. We have that chair from Get Famous, which allows you to give makeovers to your models. We have a little toilet downstairs, and then my office as a photographer is in the corner. That big photo set is actually from Get to Work, so that's going to be the first career I will take you through. And then heading on upstairs, that's where the rest of the apartment is, where my sim lives, the bedroom, the living room, kitchen, all of that. We actually built this over on TikTok Live, so if you ever want to build along these different career builds with me, make sure you're following me over on TikTok. We had an empty room to use upstairs, and we decided to turn that into our dark room, so that is where we process all of our photos. I love the different details and props that we've included in here. It feels kind of realistic. So yeah, that is our photography studio. But now let's talk about the Get to Work career. So with this photo studio, you basically will invite your models directly over to your studio. So I go and model scout and invite them over to my lot. This is where you need a little bit of imagination. You can introduce yourself as the photographer, maybe get to know your subject a little more, get to know their hobbies or their careers. You could play this in some really fun ways. You could be like a couples photographer, a wedding photographer, and have your models wear wedding dresses. You could do like prom pictures. I don't know, there's some fun ways that you can take this. I then use that Get Famous chair to give my model a makeover. Again, playing into whatever story you want. I had some really pretty dresses that I wanted to shoot, so yeah, I just gave my model a little makeover. And then heading over to the photo studio, you just take a photo of that single sim, and this is where you're a little restricted. So the camera and the gameplay that comes with this Get to Work photo studio is weirdly kind of limited. So you can't change pose of your model and you can't really change angle. So you are a little more restricted with that photo studio object. However, if you have the Sims 4 Moschino stuff pack, you have some more photo studio objects, including the backdrop, the tripod, the camera, some lights, and a subject marker for the floor. Using that full set, you will have so many more options with your camera. So you can change the angle. The zoom is a feature you can do with both, but this is what I mean by changing the angle. You can also then change the pose directly with your model in that one screen. You have lots of different themed poses, and you can have just a lot more creative control over the photos. Here we're changing our looks. Love that purple dress. And this is really fun to play with and get creative. A little fun side thing that you can do is register your career with the computer so you can give yourself a title. So you're a freelancer, you're self-employed. This will mean that your sim doesn't come up as unemployed when introducing themselves to other sims. So you can give yourself a title and a short little description. And that is a very simple get to work photography career. However, the much more detailed version of this is with Moschino. It is under the freelance career, and it is at the bottom. It's called Tomorrow's Style. That is a freelance fashion photography career. So like with those kinds of gigs, you select your gig based on different briefs, pay, clients, deadlines. And I thought this brief was really interesting. So it wants us to shoot jammies, pajamas for the spring catalog. So you pick your model, you invite your model over, and you, again, using that chair, I gave them a makeover, put them in some pajamas. We photographed according to the brief. So we needed to have them wear pajamas. We needed them to have a relaxed pose, which is one of the options that you can do in the camera. I wanted to do like a spring color palette. So yeah, really kind of, I would say a little more fun when you have a bit more of a brief, whereas the first career with Get to Work was a bit more open-ended. You have like very specific briefs with fashion, with poses, with models, with this career. Then you submit your photos for approval. The client will either like it or not like it, and you get paid on every single gig. So yeah, 2 ways to play fashion photography in The Sims 4, one with Get to Work and one with the Moschino Stuff Pack. Okay, moving on to our second career, and that is a fashion boutique owner. So this one uses Get to Work to allow you to open a retail store. So this is a beautiful lot that I've actually featured in a few other videos. I'll leave them linked down below. But we've kind of given this a makeover. So we've done a vintage store here. Now we're doing a vintage boutique. So I've laid out lots of shoes and clothes and handbags, and then those mannequins from Get to Work. And at the back of the store, we also have a little staff room. And then upstairs is where my sim lives. So with those mannequins, you can go into CAS, create a sim, and give them an outfit to sell. So depending on the vibe of your store, this is a vintage store, so we've gone with some cute outfits. Make sure you toggle on those for sale signs so you can set all of your objects in your store to be available to buy, and then open up your store and you'll have Sims come, and it will get quite busy actually. You gotta make sure to answer questions, discuss shopping preferences. Eventually you'll be able to unlock employees and they can help you answer your customers' questions and things like that. But for the first few days, it kind of is a struggle, honestly. Like you have to balance a lot. And then eventually items will start being bought, and then you have to either replace them or find new outfits for your mannequins. So it requires a lot. It's actually quite hard. In 5 hours, we only sold 2 objects, or 2 items, 2 outfits. But I kind of like that it's a struggle, and this one is one of my favorite careers actually to play. All right, moving on to fashion journalism as our next career to play in The Sims 4. And this one can also be played in 2 different ways. But before we jump in, I want to show you another apartment that we built in The Sims 4 on TikTok Live for this fashion journalism career. So the idea is that our editor-in-chief, she lives here and she also works here. So she has her own runway. In the corner, we have our little design studio. We also have her office through the glass doors at the back. This one was so much fun to build. I love the whole vibe of it. It's so modern and cool and fashionable. And then in the main space, we have a photo studio, an in-house photo studio. Then we have this little table, which I thought was really cute, where her employees or her assistants all work together, and a little communal kitchen. And then the other side of the apartment is where she lives. So her bedroom, her lounge is all through those rooms. A little coffee station as well. But okay, so 2 ways that you can play this fashion journalism career. The first one is by joining a writer's career just through the normal careers tab. So when you reach level 5 of the writer's career, you actually get to pick between 2 branches. You can either be an author or a journalist. So through the journalist branch, you have a lot of relevant titles, eventually working your way to like an editor-in-chief. And that will require you to pitch stories to Sims, interview different Sims. I kind of had this idea that I was interviewing this famous TikToker, and we were interviewing them for a story. You could also interview celebrities and then pitch them an idea, and eventually you could write either a positive or a negative article about them. You gain fame points for all of the articles that you write. So I actually think the fame chart is super helpful for this career because you could eventually unlock the ability to interview celebrities or get a PR agency, networking. So Get Famous is very compatible with this career. And with that in-house photo studio, you can invite the TikToker over and do a little photo shoot with them and shoot the magazine cover or something like that. You can even like photo shoot it in big. You have the big photos and then print it out as a magazine cover. All right, moving on to the second version of this though is through the style influencer career, which gives much more relevant, specific work tasks every day as you work from home, such as interviewing Sims about their fashion, discussing their outfits, and you basically then go back to your little studio at home and you can write articles, write a fashion blog. And as you work your way up the career, you unlock lots of different actions, fashion guides, style guides, things like that. So 2 ways to play it, either through the style influencer career or the writer's career. All right, next up we have a fashion influencer / fashion YouTuber. So this one requires the more views video station that comes with Get Famous. So we've done a full YouTube studio with that backdrop. This is a really fashionable apartment, another one that we built on TikTok Live with a big wardrobe. And through that more reviews video station, you can record videos. There's a couple different themed videos that you can do. You can record beauty videos, travel videos, vlogs, cooking videos. You could use your drone. But you can record fashion tips and your sim will basically just like change different outfits, and the video at the end that's produced is a fashion video. Once you finish the video, you have to name it and then open up your video inventory to edit the video. Through editing the video, you'll unlock the multimedia production skill, which is super useful because it will eventually unlock abilities to add transitions and add effects to your video. And the more editing you do, the higher the quality the video is, which will then in turn give you more royalties. So you'll upload the video, you'll actually unlock fame points for it. And as you progress through the career, you can then also add on components to the video station. You can do a ring light or a camera. You can adjust the lights, different warm or cool tones, and kind of personalize your setup. You can also reply to comments, hype your next video, promote old videos, engage with your community. So the fashion YouTuber is through Get Famous, but a little side job that you can definitely do on the side is a Sims influencer. So it will require you to review objects, so like review lifestyle objects that you have already in your apartment, and you'll get fame for it and entrepreneurial skills, and it will just unlock many more gameplay interactions. And it just gives lots of different ways to be a Sims influencer. And moving on to our final fashion career to play in The Sims 4, and that is using Trendi, which comes with the high school years expansion pack. So I'm actually playing with a sim here that is a teen because I feel like this career, because you don't join it through the normal career panel, I think a teen is really compatible for it and is like a good way to have a bit of a side hustle. So we're heading to the thrift store, Thrifty. This is a renovated version of that. I'll leave the gallery ID on screen, but the idea is that the bubble tea store is on one side and Thrifty is on the other side. And I think because of the bubble tea, honestly, it's a really busy lot. There's always a lot of Sims hanging around here. But take your sim over to that Thrifty and you'll need to interact with those clothing rails and you can learn about how Trendi works. So in summary, it's basically like kind of a buying, selling marketplace for fashion outfits. So you can create a fashion look, which will take you to CAS with a mannequin, and you can kind of learn about what the trends are at the moment. I think when I found out, they said that plain style was not in fashion, but rocker style was trending. So I filtered everything by rocker and created a look with the theme in mind. You are limited, though. They don't have all of the items in Create a Sim. For some reason, they limit you to not many, like honestly only like 10% of the items from CAS. So you kind of have to be more creative, and then you'll have a finished look. You can put a price tag on it and a name, and you'll find it in your inventory. You can sell it then, you can list it on Trendi, set your price, and wait for a buyer. So that's the very basic version of it, but there's a couple things that you can do to kind of speed that process along to find a buyer, such as taking an outfit. So here we're designing a second outfit. We kind of went with more of like a cyber groove with lots of like clashing prints and stuff. But before you list an outfit on Trendi, you can promote the look. So make sure you're wearing it, take a picture in it, upload it to it will say promote your trendy outfit. And each time you promote your look, you'll have a greater chance of actually being able to sell it quickly. You'll get a message about a buyer who wants to buy your outfit. And there you go. We made 200 and something from a day's work. So that is 5 fashion careers to play in The Sims 4. There's actually some really amazing mods that I was tempted to use for this video, but this is a mod-free video. But if you do want to see kind of the modded version of fashion careers to play in The Sims 4, then let me know down below. Also, let me know if there's any other specific career themes you want me to explore. I've got a couple in mind of different versions of this video, but I'd love to get some thoughts, and I will see you all in my next video. And my improved setup, it's probably going to evolve a million times in the next couple of weeks. Bye, everyone!